Welcome to Stone Hands, to the hands of stone. The dreamers of the ancient world, the lucid visions that they had, the way to manifest greatness. Like Michelangelo, when he was asked how he created the sculpture of David, and he responded, I just stripped off everything that was not David. That's simple, that's easy. But for such vision, you must have clarity, an open mind, an open inner eye, the vision. When we go back in time, there's a story in the Bible that has inspired me a lot. A story about seeing dreams and having visions and actually having those lucid dreams to see the future of the Egypt and to see the future of the Pharaoh's land and to foresee after that the first coming of the Judaic tribe to the land of the Gem. But that's interesting to note that in the book of Colbrin, that is an kind of an opposite story to the Old Testament. It's a story as there was a destroyer in the sky in the days of Exodus. And the destroyer appeared each time when there was something uphealing, something being destroyed in the world, a fall or a downgrade of a civilization. And in the times of Exodus, there was the destroyer in the sky in the book of Colbrin. I recommend to read it, to have a different perspective on the stories of the Old Testament and to understand that the Bible is actually a book of history, but it's just one perspective of history. Colbrin is another book on history having a different perspective on the things that happened. But in the land of Gem, in the ancient Egypt, there was one important ritual that the priests and priestesses went through when they had to awaken their inner vision and to strip off the worries of the earthly plane. It is called an initiation. They went into a tomb or a sarcophagus for 2 or 3 nights and days, and they were taken or they were able to eat some psychedelic plants, so they were able to visualize their whole life and their whole being in a matter of days and to awaken the inner seer of wisdom in them. And another important thing that in the ancient land of Egypt was that people started taking psychedelic plants when they were children, up from the age 7, and when they were 14, 15, 16, they were more wiser, more comprehensive. Those children were like elders in our society, because nowadays when we look at the world, a person who is 50 is just beginning to grow up and understand his or her impact on the world. But before that, we are like children running around, aimless, stupid, foolish, doing huge mistakes that cost our environment and our society a lot of wrath, a war, a conflict, because we have been stripped out from our roots and from the upbringing that could initiate a peace and harmony in the hearts of mankind. And as we look in the ancient world and to the statues, to the temples, how they were crafted, it is impossible that many of them were built by hand labor Of course, some of them in the later times may have been built by hands, but mostly those huge columns of stones, those huge blocks of stones, they were lifted with the spiritual powers. As I mentioned, the inner vision that is awakened, then a person is able to manifest the reality with the four elements: the fire, the water, the air, and the earth. From the earth we create the bodies. With the fire we burn and melt the metals. With the water we strive and we cut. We make the precision and we hone the full structure. And with the air we make it light and we make it to levitate. Like the story when Buddha went to the battlefield and he was awakened, he had been enlightened. So he went to the battlefield, and the priests or the monks that were with the Buddha asked, "You cannot go to the battlefield. They will kill us." And Buddha said, "No, they will not." And they went to the battlefield. The battle stopped and the peace was laid on the warring men. And they all looked at Buddha and those monks with awe. That's also a strength to manifest a reality, an inner way to change the things. Like the Jesus ben Joseph, Jesus Christ, he walked on the water. There was a dead man who he brought to life again. Because he knew his powers, he believed in them, and he was able to manifest. Yes, nowadays we have also those people, like the Son of God in Brazil, who can heal all kinds of illnesses. Or Babaji, who comes to the chosen ones from the etheric realms. Or Saint Germain, who has been seen throughout centuries, and he has been always in the turning points of the human history. Like the French Revolution, or the beginning of the World War. There have been those people with great vision, and their message has been that each one of us can attain such level of mastery. But it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that if we could bring the collective vision into a new depth, and into a new awakening. Like 120 years ago, the society was awakening, and then some people, or some say reptilians, had to pull the strings and organize a collective war to bring down the collective vibration of humankind once again. But still, now we are in another phase of awakening, and we cannot fight back anymore because the Mother Earth is awakening. And if Mother Earth is awakening, we have to choose: shall we awaken or destroy the whole of humanity once again? It has happened in many planets, like the Seers, or in the era of Cold War. There were the psychics who were utilized in the Soviet Union and in the United States of America to look with their vision into the past and into the future. And in the United States of America, in CIA, they were looking into the Mars million years ago and saw how the inhabitants of Mars destroyed all life upon the planet with their own technology, with their Merkaba kind of technology. The same things have mentioned many authors who were participating individually in that experiment. And same has mentioned the Drunvalo Melchizedek and many other psychics. But in the Soviet Union school, there were also people who communicated with extraterrestrials, with other civilizations, and understood that this kind of a war, this Cold War, was dangerous for the whole humanity. But But luckily, we have come out from that period or phase of time, and now we are gently transforming and preparing for the first contact with extraterrestrials. But before that, we will have some hidden agendas coming against us. The hidden agendas from the governments of different countries who are trying to do a fake first contact, because many are driving for the agenda that we should be the subjects to the extraterrestrials. But no, we are equals, because as humanity we have got very special powers with which we can create a very beautiful living or a life. We can strive for creating new universes. We are here as great, magnificent beings who can feel really low and really high emotions, and that is really special in this whole universe. And we have this special ability that we can create children with their own special firstborn souls. Isn't it beautiful? And that's something we can strive forward, and that's something we should go and aim for. So the visions of the ancient world have carried themselves over here to this current moment and situation. I wish you everything good and see you soon again.